Now, the rest of the story.
Okay, welcome to Making Corn Fodder. As I say, my camera's got its own personality right now. Putting 4 wraps of net wrap on this stuff. This is fodder that we combined this 7 days ago. Hannah cut it, Brittany cut it. It was a combination of both of them. 2 days after that, it's had no rain on it. It's probably going to be the best fodder we ever make, ever. And I'd like to get going on it. Like I say, this will put us, we'll see where we actually end up, but this should put us 2/3, if not 3/4 of the way done on fodder for the year. This is the only thing that we'll need to do is make some for Ryan out at his place. But a lot of it is gonna boil down to how much we actually get made here. There's about 22 acres here that I gotta make. There's another 20 acres down at my place. We're not really aiming to make a pile of bedding. That's largely all we want is purely just the bedding. Last year, because my hay situation was in the dumps, ended up making probably twice as many as we would have needed to, but we also end up using everything but, I think we had 26 bales left. I shouldn't have to back up because I do have the kicker on, but I'm gonna drop my mic quick. And I got first bale. You always have to go and make sure the first bale wrapped. And again, you're never supposed to trust it. But set for 4 wraps, I only got 3 on it. But I'm gonna factor that down to I'm gonna leave the kicker on a little bit here, but that bale went a lot farther than I wanted it to. I'm anti-kicker. The only place I like using it is on the bottom because it's flat. That bale, that just rolled about 100 feet. That's how accidents happen around here, because then it ends up in a fence or on the road or in the neighbor's pasture. But if that was worth 1 bale at a 64-inch bale, for what little bit we did, I think we'll hit 100 bales here. I think it's pretty safe to say. We only dedicated so much for bedding that we're making the fodder off of, because everything that we're getting the fodder made off of, all of those manure piles that I got in the cattle lot, are going to be hauled out here and get it spread right away. This is where I'm going to spread my manure this winter. And the rest of the farm, hi, how are you? The rest of the farm, I'm planning on getting it chiseled. The goal is to get 100% of our primary tillage done, chiseling, and all that'll really be left to chisel will be anything we leave to spread manure on over this winter. And we won't have as much ground to work this fall because of the amount of soybeans that we had this year in our rotation, but that's just kind of how it goes. With 4 wraps on the fodder though, my regular viewers will know that on the valley, on my grass hay, I wrap it 4 times, largely just because it gets handled as much as it does. We, between hauling it in from the field and stacking it inside, then loading it up and either hauling it up here or hauling it to the sale barn, I'd rather pay a little bit more and get them wrapped so they can handle being handled, because I don't like seeing exploded bales where the net wrap busts open on them. I'm really not against using it in the fodder right now until I break the net wrap on that first bale, and then I'll quit using the kicker. This job with the 569 82 is just so much nicer than trying to do it with the 566. The pickup designed better with that internal rotor. It's helping shove the fodder up into the bale and getting your core started. The fact that this stuff is as dry as it is also huge. There's not much, if any, dirt in it. We use that rhino rake. The ground is so hard. Literally, the ground is so hard that it's really not even pulling any dirt in with it, which is great. You just say we need the bedding for keeping the cattle clean, keeping them warm, keeping them dry, and then I go through what seems like a pile of bedding when my cows start dropping calves. We have a bunch of small squares of straw. I think it's wheat straw that I have in the barn for when I need to bed down my calves. June 20th is when I put the bulls in. The bulls are still in with my cows, largely just because I'm trying to get everybody so they have calves next year, even if it's spread out. If it was entirely up to me, I would have kept doing what I was doing, where I was putting a bull in with them for 60 days, and then that way I knew that's what my window was. This going forward here, I would rather just have calves, even if they're spread out. I'm going to go through and get them preg checked, and anybody that doesn't, as long as they're bred, I know that they're bred. And if they don't calve when it comes time to haul them out to pasture next year, everybody that hasn't calved yet will just be staying at home so I can keep an eye on them. I still have my one cow with my one fall calf. She's still out on pasture, and she was due to calve now, and I haven't seen anything yet. So I'm just gonna kind of cross my fingers and hope that she's an older cow, she'll be able to handle it herself. But these bales are coming off nice and level. Shouldn't settle much. I'd like to wrap 40 or 50 or 60 of them, just so I have good dry bedding for next spring. And you never know, if this is a dry winter, maybe I'm getting excited for nothing. But I am going to tell you, I'm actually going to I'm going to shut the camera off because I need to cover some ground. I just wasted my morning on some strangers that ultimately wasted my morning when I could have been bailing 2 hours ago. Well, as is life. So I'll try to catch up to you guys. Well, everything's moving kind of steady. We got just over 200 bales made. About a third of that, a quarter of that or so has been made down here. I'm looking for about 100 bales. This is down at my place. This is for my parents' cows. And I don't quite need as much bedding down here for these guys as I do for my cows up at home. Because if we have the ability to graze these cattle in the field till December, January, I mean, I think it was 2 years ago, I didn't start feeding or bedding them until like the 5th or 6th of January. But up at home, I got about 150 or 60, and that's largely just because I don't have anywhere to go with them. I mean, I'm going to be putting, well, not going to be, I am. I started putting bedding in for my feeder calves 2 days ago, and the cows are still laying out on the pasture a little bit, but as the way things are going, if we can get fodder, no, I turn the camera on just so I'm trying to focus on everything. We get the manure hauled out up at the home farm, and there's at my brother's place and down here. But if we can get everything up at the home farm in particular, I'll probably be putting down bedding almost right away. Just to keep them up off the ground, give them something soft to lay on, because that pasture it's pretty much down to nothing. And I haven't even brought everybody home yet. I still got about half the cows out on pasture. And my baler's starting to give me just a little bit of issue. I think it's more of a material issue than anything, because it was doing it up at the home farm. But the pickup and everything is running fine, but the problem is the material is getting hit by the teeth, and the teeth are throwing up the corn residue up behind the roller wind guard. And these windrows, granted, they're nice size windrows, but they're not requiring the roller wind guard to roll consistently, and it doesn't want to roll because it's got the material pushing against the back of it, and it's causing a feeding issue, because I can be pushing the windrow, but if it can slide underneath the pickup, like everything that's there, it'll still keep pulling it in, but it's just, I got to pick the pickup up, shake it a little bit, and it's clear. It's just, compared to the issues and the troubles I've had in the past trying to make fodder, not necessarily with this baler, just years in the past where I've been trying to make fodder, where if it's muddy or it's tough, my problems I'm dealing with are pretty insignificant, especially if I don't have to get out of the tractor to deal with it. A lot of the bales are coming out, well, all the bales have come out really nice. Net wrap is working well. This stuff, now that I think about it, it's because it hasn't been cut as long. It's only been cut with a rotary mower for 2 days. And the material itself is dry. I checked it this morning, but the stalks that are still there that haven't, that are still attached to the ground, they are a little tough yet, and maybe that's actually what I'm dealing with. But bales wise, by the time I get done with this through here, I think this is going to get us close enough where we'll be fine. I'm not really too worried about the cows down here for bedding. My brother is, because he has to deal with more mud in the spring and all that when it warms up. I worry about it just because my cows are on concrete all winter, and having something for them to stand and lay on that isn't concrete is pretty important. And again, as far as this fall goes, I really shouldn't be saying it because I don't want to jinx myself, but the way things are going so far, we're about 2 weeks ahead over normal. I don't want to say normal because I don't want it to be the normal, but where we're typically at, we're about 2 weeks ahead. And it's we're just past mid-October. It's like the 16th, 17th. And we're going to have a pretty healthy amount of our fodder done. And I wouldn't be surprised if probably next Sunday we finish it up, which I'm looking forward to. I don't think there's any rain in the forecast, but my thing with it is this power takeoff is that adapter is just it's roughing up the power takeoff coming out of the tractor. I mean, I can cinch those little set screws down as tight as I can with the impact, and it's irrelevant. It just doesn't care. And I think I need to look into putting a new shield on it, on the power takeoff, and it's gonna be what, $500 to get a new yoke and the cross put on it, but I'm gonna switch it over to the large 1000. So in the 46 and the 82 we'll be able to run it. I'm not sure what my options are with the 79. The 79 runs it great. Dad's the only one that's ran the 79 on this baler, and that was in hay. I don't know if you can get, I think you can, because I think I saw Wes do it. Sorry, I thought I broke my kicker. Where you can actually get a large 1000 adapter, and you just install that into the back of the, where the power takeoff goes into. I'm pretty sure that's an option, but not something that, it'd be something that I would like to have on hand, just because it'd be nice to have that ability if I need to. Because like right now, I could, if this tractor went down and I was actually panicked trying to get fodder made, which is the norm, what it would be then is I drop the baler, get the 79, grab the monitor out of the combine, because I need the ag leader monitor to run the baler in the 79. I paid for the harness to do that. And I'd go get the 79 and I'd bale until I'm done. But I'm only sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so more than 8. So I got a few passes here yet, and it's just starting to bunch up on me. Awesome timing. I do have the kicker on yet, and I'm on top of the hill right now, but it goes that way, and it's all downhill, and it's actually downhill that way too. I had 6 bales so far since getting down here that I was cringing just a little bit, because of those 6 bales, 4 of them were heading right towards the neighbor's place, like through the fence and into their living room. So, but it stopped, so I'm still good. It's saving me from having to back up too much. But this is starting to annoy. Because all I gotta do is just pick it up and drop it, and it bounces just enough that it's just sitting on the roller wind guard. And then, yeah, see, it rotates and then just stops. So it's got a bunch of the residue up behind it, and it's pressing on it. These cows, we at least got some of them out on stalks. They really seem to enjoy that. As far as the calves and whatnot, Everything up at the farm is... I'm starting to wonder if I got a bearing out in that roller wind guard. Because I literally just made 2 rotations and then just completely stopped. Am I going to get out and try to address it? Of course not. Because it is the weekend and I'm not about to try to get parts. That's got to be what it is. Because I went from... Oh yeah, stuff is kind of tough too. Drop it down a gear. Yeah, if I gotta drive slower, if I at least can get it done, then whatever. Driving slower helps. It doesn't want to run in 8th gear. 4th it is. Because as long as I can keep moving and keep consistently making bales is better than driving faster but then having to stop 20 times just to back up.